What's the weirdest way someone tried to get out of jury duty by wearing a costume? I got called for jury duty the week after I turned 18. Happy birthday to me, right? Most people get a car or maybe a cake. I got a manila envelope from the government that basically said, congrats on adulthood. Now show up or we'll fine you. So I dragged myself to the courthouse at 8 a.m., which is a crime in itself because I hadn't been awake before noon in 2 years. The waiting room was packed, like sardines, but sadder. There were at least 80 people crammed into this beige purgatory with fluorescent lights that hummed like they were also depressed. Everyone looked miserable, except for one guy. Let's call him Wade, because that's what his name tag said. And Wade was wearing a full pirate costume, not like a Halloween store pirate. I'm talking tricorn hat with a feather, ruffled shirt, leather boots that went up to his knees, a plastic cutlass on his belt, and an eye patch. He walked in like he just docked his ship outside and was ready to plunder the vending machine. The bailiff didn't even blink, just pointed him to a seat like this was normal Tuesday behavior. Wade sat down 2 rows ahead of me, legs spread wide like he owned the ocean and possibly this courthouse. I leaned over to the woman next to me and whispered, "Is that allowed?" She shrugged. "Honey, I've seen weirder." The judge walked in eventually, looking exactly how you'd imagine. Tired, annoyed, ready to retire. He scanned the room, paused on Wade, sighed like his soul left his body, and said, "All right, let's get this over with." They started calling names for jury selection. When they got to Wade, he stood up dramatically, tipped his hat, and said in the worst British accent I've ever heard, "Hi, that be me, Your Honor." The judge stared. The lawyer stared. I bit my lip so hard I tasted blood. The judge goes, "Sir, why are you dressed like that?" Wade, without missing a beat, says, "Religious reasons, Your Honor." Dead silence. Someone coughed. The judge blinked about 7 times in a row and said, "What religion requires you to dress as a pirate?" Wade straightened up, hand over his heart like he was about to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and said, "Pastafarianism, Your Honor, Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Pirates are central to our beliefs." Now, I didn't know if he was lying or if this was an actual thing, but the confidence in his voice could have convinced me the moon was made of Swiss cheese. The judge rubbed his temples. "Are you seriously telling me you're here as a practicing pirate for religious purposes?" "Hi." The lawyer on the plaintiff's side stood up and said, "Your Honor, I'd like to dismiss this juror for cause." The judge nodded. "Granted, you're dismissed." Wade stood, gave a full salute with his plastic sword, and said, "Fair winds and following seas, Your Honor." Then he walked out, boots clacking, feather bouncing, eye patch slightly crooked. The whole room just sat there in stunned silence until someone in the back whispered, "That's genius." And honestly, it was.